Yashodanandana Varajanarandana Yashodanandana Varajanarandana Yamunatira Vanajari Yamunatira Vanajari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhattavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Nittai Gola Haribo, 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 Nittai Gola Haribo. Jam Vishnu Pada Paramahansa Paripacharyato Tavasasma Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda ki jai, Namacharya Shri hṛdi-sthān ki jai, Principal Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Vaidya Gadadhara Śrīvasari Gaura Bhaktavinda ki jai, Ganga Mai ki jai, Yamuna Mai ki jai, Tulasi ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai. All glory to the assembled devotees, all glory to the assembled devotees, All glory to the assembled devotees. All glory to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Yeah, I met him on the way in front of the temple. Thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 10, Division of the Creation, Text 4 and 5. So, 3 and 4. What? Oh, yes. 3 and 4. So now I'm going to read 3, then we will chant 4 together. I think the 4 is on the board. Yes? Okay, text 3. Śrī Sūta uvāca evaṁ sañcoditas tena sañcoditas Muni prītaḥ pratyāha hṛdi-sthān bhārgava. Translation. Sūta Gosvāmī said, O son of Bhṛgu, the great sage Maitreya Muni, thus hearing from Vidura, felt very much enlivened. Everything was in his heart, and thus he began to reply the question one after another. Purport. The phrase Sūta uvāca, Sūta Gosvāmī said, appeared to indicate a break in the discourse between Mahārāja Parīkṣit and Śukadeva Gosvāmī. While Śukadeva Gosvāmī was speaking to Mahārāja Parīkṣit, Sūta Gosvāmī was only one member of a large audience. But Sūta Gosvāmī was speaking to the sage of Naimisharanya, headed by the sage Shonaka, a descendant of Śukadeva Gosvāmī. This, however, does not make a substantial difference in the topic under the discussion. Text 4. We will read together. Maitreya Vacha Vinirjopi Tata Chakre Mibang Bang Sang Satan Tapa Atmani Atmananya Besta Yataha Bhagavan Aja Maitreya Vacha Vinirjopi Tata Chakre Mibang Bang Sang Satan Tapa Atmani Atmananya Besta Yataha Bhagavan Aja Maitreya Vacha Vinirjopi Tata Chakre Divyam Vangsang Satan Tapa Atmani Atmananya Besa Yataha Bhagavan Aja. Please chant. Maitreya Vacha Vinirjopi Tata Chakre Maitreya Vacha Vinirjopi Tata Chakre Divyam Vangsang Satan Tata Atmani Abhesa Sasita Atata Bhagavatam Vacha. Bhagavatam. Mataji? Maitreya Bhaja. Atha Bhagavatam. Maitreya Bhaja, the great sage Maitreya said, Vinirja Brahma, Api also, Tata, in that manner, Chakra performed Divyam celestial Pausasatam 100 years. Tapa penance. Atmani unto the Lord. Atmanan his own self. Abhesa engage. Yataha as it was spoken. Bhagavam the personality of Godhead. Aja, the unborn. Translation. The great learned sage Maitreya said, O Vidura, Brahma thus engaged himself in penance for 100 celestial years, as advised by the personality of Godhead, and applied himself in devotional service to the Lord. Please repeat. The great learned sage Maitreya said, O Vidura, Brahma thus engaged himself in penance for 100 celestial years, as advised by the personality of Godhead, and applied himself in devotional service to the Lord. Purport. Thus Brahman engaged himself for the personality of Godhead Narayan means that he engaged himself in the service of the Lord. That is the highest penance, and one can perform. That is the highest penance one can perform for any number of years. There is no retirement from such service, which is eternal and ever encouraging. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnana Jnana Sharakaya Jakshum Militanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So we are going to do the overview first, then we will cover text 3, then text 4. Overview. So Vidura was on a pilgrimage and he met Maitreya Muni. He asked different questions. One of the first questions was, the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Lord, he is totally spiritual, he has nothing to do. How he can interact with material nature, means how he can create the material world. Then another one he asked was, living entity is by nature pure, the part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. How the living entity can get entangled in this material world? And he asked many other questions. To reply, Maitreya Rishi was going to reply that, then he asked many questions. Then Maitreya Rishi was going to answer all these questions. Then he, in course of the answer, he was explaining how the creation took place. The creation has 10 divisions. The title of this chapter 10 is Division of Creation. So the division of creation was described in this chapter as well as previous chapter previous means 8 and 9 chapter. So the creation, if you divide it two, that is Sarga and Visarga. Sarga is creation by the Lord, and Visarga is creation by Lord Brahma. So the Sarga is divided into, first part is the first part was manifestation of Mahatattva. That is, Pradhana was already there. Pradhana is unmanifest three-mode of material nature. Then the Supreme Lord, he injects the living entity and color, the time, into the Pradhana. Then Pradhana became agitated, and then Pradhana became Mahatattva. That is the first creation. Then second, I think yesterday or before yesterday, the question came about the color. The color will be described about in this chapter later after. But the color was existing from the first division of creation. That was before the Brahma was created. First stage of creation, Lord grants the pradhan, then time and living entity was injected. So the color was existing from beginning. Then the second phase was ahankara was produced. That was Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is the presiding deity of ahankara. So the Supreme Lord, he is totally spiritual. He doesn't interact with material nature. So when the Supreme Lord interacts with material nature, he interacts in the form of Shiva. Like Bhagavad Gita said, aham bija parampita. I am the father of all living entity. That means in the form of Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva interacted with Durga, material nature. Then the living entity was created. So that was the second. Then third, Hankara in contact with model of ignorance produced Pancha Mahabhuta, earth, water, fire, air, ether. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, 5 Pancha Mahabhuta. And their object, that means smell, form, taste, and form, I said, touch, and then one more, sound. That's created. The next stage, it was ahankara in interaction with mode of passion. That was Kriya Shakti. The Lord has many Shakti. 3 of them, Dhruva Shakti, that is the source of creation of Pancha Mahabhutas and their object. And then Kriya Shakti, that is activities that produce 5 working senses and 5 knowledge acquired senses. That means eyes and nose and tongues and hands and leg and all the others. Then the next creation is ahankara interacted mode of goodness that produce mind and demigod. That is first one Dhruva Shakti, this is Kriya Shakti, and this is Vidya Shakti. Then last one was Avidya. That Avidya covered the living entity and make the living entity act like a fool. Up to here is a creation by the Lord. Then now Vidura is asking how Lord Brahma created all the living entities, the bodies. The living entity is eternal. Eternal living entity is not created, ajonityan, saspatopyam prano, so it's never be created, it's eternal. But Brahma created the body of the living entity. How the Lord Brahma created the living entity? That was Vidura's question. And then chapter 10 we describe how Brahma created. That is 7, 8, 9, 10 division of creation. First, Brahma created the living entity, the body of living entity, who has no legs. They can only perceive the thing by smell. That is, the living entity who cannot move. That is the plants and the trees and all that. That's the body which cannot move. Then second creation is animal, beast, bird, all that. Then next creation, third creation of Brahma is human being. Then last creation of Lord Brahma is demigod. So the demigod here, because in the Vishnu's creation is that mind interacted, mode of goodness interacted and Ahankara created demigod. That is main demigod who are part of the creation. They are going to help the Lord to create the universe. That's the main demigod. And here, end of Brahma's creation, the demigod is described. That is another set of demigods who are including Rakshasa and demon and pichatas and siddhas and all different. It's not exactly demigod what we see like a sun and Sun Surya and Agni and Vayu. Those main demigods was already created in the first creation, but another demigod, 30-something crore of demigod, and all the Rakshasa and demons and pichatas and all that was included in the category of demigod in the last stage of Brahma's creation. That is the overview of previous chapter and this chapter. Then now we are discussing text 3. So the topic of creation was going on, and suddenly it comes Sutta uvāca. Sutta Gosvāmī said that Prabhupada said that is like a breaking down the conversation. Till now, Maitreya is speaking to Vidura, and suddenly Sutta uvāca, Sutta is speaking. That makes us to understand the whole sequence of Bhagavatam. So because of this text, we are going to reflect the sequence of Srimad Bhagavatam. Śukadeva Gosvāmī spoke, I think, not in this cover, but I think first canto of first chapter of Bhagavatam, the covers Śukadeva Gosvāmī too, speaking to Parīkṣit Mahārāja. So that is the whole Bhagavatam. So originally, Śukadeva Gosvāmī speaking to Parīkṣit Mahārāja. That is the original Bhagavatam. And then the word original Bhagavatam I have to explain later. But what we know is Śukadeva Gosvāmī speaking to Parīkṣit Mahārāja. Within that story, there are many stories there. And then when Śukadeva Gosvāmī is speaking to Parīkṣit Mahārāja, not only Śukadeva Gosvāmī, but many sages also there. Among the sages, Sūta Gosvāmī was there. And Sūta Gosvāmī later on, he spoke same Bhagavatam to sage of Naimisharanya. And Sūta Gosvāmī said, I heard from Śukadeva Gosvāmī, and I will narrate the same story, same teaching to you as far as my realization allows, as the bird can fly with their own ability. So it's the same story. And now Maitreya is speaking to Vidura. That was a story within the story. And at the same time, when Vidura asked the question about creation, Maitreya said the same question, similar question was asked before by Sanata Kumara, headed by 4 Kumara, to Sankarashana. Then Sankarashana, that is Sankarashana, is Vishnu Tattva Sankarashana, he was meditating on Vasudev, and 4 Kumara came from higher planetary system to see the Sankarashana. Then he opened the eyes. Because the question was very relevant, he decided to answer. Then in the answer, he spoke Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam by Śukadeva Gosvāmī, and now within the story there is another Srimad Bhagavatam, which was spoken by Sankarashana to 4 Kumara. And that Sankarashana Bhagavatam was spoken to 4 Kumaras, Sanata Kumara. Then later on, he spoke the same Bhagavatam to the assembly of another group of sages. In that assembly, there is a Parashara Muni. And Parashara Muni later spoke to Maitreya Rishi. Means Maitreya Rishi was Parashara Muni's disciple. So he received the Bhagavatam in that way. That Bhagavatam, Maitreya Rishi is going to speak to Vidura. So it's story within the story. At the same time, this Parashara Muni is a guru, spiritual master of Maitreya. At the same time, everybody knows Parashara Muni is the father of Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva is compiler of Srimad Bhagavatam. Of course, when in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, Narada Muni instructed Vyasadeva, okay, you have compiled so many Vedas, Mahabharatas, and many Vedas, but you are not satisfied because you did not sufficiently glorify the Supreme Lord. So he advised to recite, compile Srimad Bhagavatam. So within himself, all the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam was revealed to be ascertained by the mercy of Narada Muni. At the same time, he was the son of Parashara Muni, so it's understood that the Srimad Bhagavatam was handed down in that way also. So here Prabhupada said, it does not make any substantial difference in a topic under discussion. So all whatever I said is there, but at the end we understand no different. Of course, to understand Srimad Bhagavatam, one thing is very important. That is, we have to accept Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We have to accept us to be the servant of Krishna, and we have to act in that capacity. Then it becomes our realized knowledge. Then our knowledge and word become potent. Like Krishna told Arjuna Bhagavad Gita, because you are my devotee and friend, Bhaktosi Shaka. That's why you can understand the teaching. Of course, we cannot be on the level of Arjuna. We cannot be Krishna's friend or lover or parent, but at least we accept we are Krishna's servant. Need to see the Krishna's, what is that? Jiva swallowed by Krishna Nitya. At least we accept that principle and we act in that capacity. That means we perform devotional service. Then we will be able to understand Srimad Bhagavatam slowly. Nityam Bhagavata Seva slowly. As hearing our dust accumulate in the heart will be clean, and we will be able to understand. Then we can transmit to others. Then we go to text 4. In the text 4, again discussion coming back to Maitreya, between Maitreya and Vidura. And Maitreya said, I will read again. Maitreya said, O Vidura, Brahma thus engaged himself in penance for 100 celestial years, as advised by the personality of Godhead. Apply himself in devotional service. So Brahma was engaged in 100 years of tapasya. So as advised by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so because it said as advised the Personality of Godhead, how is the Supreme Lord advised to Brahma? So we will revive. It was said in chapter 9, that means we are reading chapter 10. In previous chapter 9, Brahma was offering beautiful prayer to the Lord. In that chapter, toward the end, Krishna is speaking to Brahma and giving advice. That is what it refers here. Supreme Personality advice to Brahma. So Brahma was afraid because he was firstborn, he didn't know anybody, and suddenly he was supposed to create the universe. And particularly it's mentioned there was a ferocious wave and the wind was all over, and he was afraid. And also he has to create the body of living entity. That means when you go to preaching, maybe you have experience. If you are in the Mayapur, everybody is devotee, so nice. Everyone say Hare Krishna. But if you go to the outside Mayapur, outside country, then if you say Hare Krishna, they may say, hey, get up, so much noise, you get up, you a crazy person. They may shout and they may beat you, or sometimes devotee put in the jail. So sometimes very polite person, oh, he's very nice person, we start speak, and after that he's actually Mayavadi. So much demoniac feeling against the Lord. Sometimes very polite socially and not Mayavadi, very pious person, but says, oh, we accumulate pious activity, we go to the heaven. So many things. Everyone has different face and different person. So Brahma has to deal with all this past. And then, in fact, when he created the demoniac body, they chased after Brahma, tried to have some relationship with Brahma. So he was scared. Now I'm alone. I'm speaking to the Lord. Now I have to do all these things. So scared. Then Vishnu said, don't worry about it. You will not be, you will be always protected by me because you offer nice prayer, your understanding of myself. That means Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is eternal. He is unborn. Those prayers he offered, so he will be always protected. So I think the question came yesterday or the day before yesterday. Brahma or Shiva? Oh, by the way, I have to make an excuse. I don't come to Bhagavatam class because my health is not so well, but I always listen to my Apple TV and Bhagavatam class. So yesterday or the day before yesterday, another question was asked, if Brahma and Shiva are under the mode of material nature, right? So the Rameshwara Prabhu answered very nicely. Lord Shiva is about mode of material nature. He is the master of Durga. Durga is the three mode of material nature. So Lord Shiva, especially Sadashiva, he is the abode of three mode of material nature. In fact, he is a master, and his abode is actually material world, spiritual world in between. There is a Mahesha Loka. So he is the abode three mode of material nature. He is abode material world. And Brahma, being the living entity is prone to covered by material nature. Especially when he himself said, I'm scared, maybe I will get overcome by material mode of nature, especially passion, because creation means passion. But Krishna Vishnu assured him, because you are going to do my work, I will protect you. You will not be influenced by the mode of passion. Like Bhagavad Gita said, Daivya Shaguna Mama Maya Turataya. This material nature is my energy, Mama Maya, my energy. So it's very difficult to overcome, but if you surrender to me, I will protect you so that you will not be influenced by the three mode of material nature. So not only Brahma, but we are also prone to be influenced by the three mode of material nature. There is no way we can overcome three mode of material nature. That Maya Devi, so huge, so strong. But if we surrender to Krishna, because Krishna is a master and master of master, because Krishna is Shiva's master as well. So he will protect, then by his grace, he will be protected from the three mode of material nature. Manchayo Babicharena Bhakti Yogena Sevate Saguna Samatitaitam Brahma Bhuya Yakalpate. So when we go above the three mode of material nature, we engage in devotional service. We are free, so I have nothing to do. It's not like that. We are free from material nature. We engage in devotional service. That's what it said here, Lord Brahma. He engaged himself in devotional service. So Mayavadi thinks, I'm free from material nature, I have nothing to do, I'm liberated. But Brahma engaged in devotional service to the Lord. So we are free. Now what will we do? This is not the goal. We are going to engage in devotional service. That is the goal of Lord Brahma. He is the head of our Sampradaya, Brahma, Gauriya Sampradaya. So we follow his footsteps, so we engage in devotional service to the Lord. So I want to elaborate the word penance. So what exactly Lord Brahma did? Penance. He did tapasya, okay. He chanted tapa, 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 or he just meditated, do nothing. So in Bhagavad Gita, the penance was described in chapter 17, division of faith. So austerity is divided into three ways. Austerity of the body, austerity of mind, and austerity of the world. So austerity of the body included worship of the Supreme Lord, worship of Brahmana, worship of a superior like father and mother, and celibacy and cleanness and non-violent. So Brahma did all this. Means he worshipped the Supreme Lord, he worshipped Brahmana, and then he worshipped the father and mother. For Brahma there was no father and mother. So for Brahma, Vishnu is father and mother as well, because there was no mother to produce Brahma. And he was clean, and he was brahmachari, celibacy, and he was not violent. Then austerity of the word. Speak the truth, speak beneficial word, and speak in a way not to agitate others, and regularly reciting the Vedic scriptures. So Brahma was speaking to Krishna full of truth. He was glorifying the Lord and beneficial for others. And of course, there was no others those times. But then later on, we hear Brahma was speaking Brahma Samhita. He chanted the Brahma Samhita. That's very beneficial for us. Govinda Mari Purushantamaham Bhajami. We sing every day, and many beautiful prayers, and that is beneficial and not agitating others. Not agitating others means sometimes we speak true, but then it's not palatable to others, then they may not take it. Supposed to, hey, don't do this, don't do that. Usually, why are you telling me? You have nothing to do me, what are you telling me? Like in the temple, someone said, Mataji, don't stand there, go outside. Babuji, don't make like giant, go on outside. Then we get hurt. So maybe Chokidara or whoever is saying that, they have to keep some security system, but then the person who heard get hurt. Like I never want to go to temple again. I came to see the Lord, but then I was like rejected, and I feel so sad. So we have to speak in the beneficial way and pleasing way. If it's not pleasing, then it's that person who has been told will not be able to accept, so it's not become beneficial. That is, and regularly speaking in the Shastra, Brahma is Veda personified. He is Veda, is bliss. Veda is the bliss of Vishnu. Tena, Brahma, Hridaya, Adikavaya. So Brahma was, whatever Brahma speaks, that is almost as good as Veda. Then austerity of mind, yeah? Austerity of mind. So Brahma, I'm telling you this because he said Brahma performed austerity. So what's austerity? Not just sitting, but he was doing all this. So austerity of mind is simplicity, satisfaction, and then what else was it? Anybody remember? Anybody has Bhagavad Gita? Satisfaction and simplicity. Atma or bhava. Bhava means purification of one's existence. That's with Sanskrit word is bhava. That means devotional service. If you say that purification of one's existence, what is that? That's Sanskrit word is bhava. Bhava means emotion. Emotion should be, I'm the servant of Krishna, I want to love Krishna, I want to serve Krishna. That's bhava, is purification of one's existence. That is devotional service. All this Lord Brahma was doing as a penance. And then he applied himself in devotional service to the Lord, and no retirement. Prabhupada said no retirement from such activities, which is eternal and ever encouraging. That means no retirement. Usually I don't like to hear this word because I'm getting old and I don't want to do too much work. Let young people do, and then I can retire. In Varnashram said retirement is the Varna Parasta. So now I like to hand over the responsibility of hard working to younger generation, then I can retire. But then I think here we can take in that way. Yesterday's Rameshwara Prabhu's class, he was saying how a book distributor, those who are doing book distribution in the beginning of ISKCON, he is still doing, in the 70s plus, but he was still doing book distribution. That is certainly glorious. I know Kavichandra Maharaj, he's over 70 and he still carry the book always. And whenever he has opportunity, he give up the book. And so His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj, you know how he is going through so much physical challenge, but every morning we hear the Mangalarati announcement. He distributes the book every day through virtual book table. So there is no retirement in that sense. And then broader, the other aspect of no retirement means, Narayani Mataji was telling him, I thought this is very practical for our level. When she was very young, in the beginning of 1970s, there was no activity in this corner except going Harinam. There was no book either. So every day they go out Harinam, 12 hours Harinam. Harinam, 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 Eva Kevaram. That's all they do. So Narayani Mataji, she was saying, she was also young, so she could do 12 hours Harinam. That's all they do in ISKCON. And later on book came, later on deity worship came. Then she moved to Calcutta. Those days in Calcutta, Pujari are Matajis. Nowadays in India, the Mataji cannot do the Pujari and this and that, but those days Pujari are Mataji in Calcutta. So she was doing 24 hours Pujari. Then later on, she moved to Vrindavan. Then she retired from Harinama, she retired from Pujari service. Then she started to teach in her little room. She was teaching to few devotees, whoever come to her room. And then later on, she was asked to give the class to bigger audience. And now she is traveling all over the world and preaching. So she was saying, this is the meaning of retirement. So she retired from Harinama, she retired from Pujari room, she retired from teaching in small room. Now she is traveling everywhere and preaching, so there is no retirement. So for us, individual person is different, individual physical strength is different. So in one stage of our life, what we can do or we could do, maybe later on cannot do under the circumstance and physical strength, but we never give up being the servant of Krishna. We never give up loving Krishna. We never give up try to tell others about Krishna. That in that sense, we can say that there is no retirement. So Prabhupada, when he was 70s, that is the age when usually people retire. But in the age of 70, he went to America and he spread Krishna consciousness. So when he was 69, he bowed on Jaladuta. In the beginning, the ship was going smooth. Then he had 70th birthday celebrated, wasn't even celebrated. He spent the day quietly. Then, if you remember, you have Janmashtami fasting, then Vyasa Puja fasting next day. Okay, maybe we can manage Janmashtami fasting. Then next day, Prabhupada Vyasa Puja fasting, it's hard. And then after that, okay, now we can eat. After 2 days, there is Ekadasi. That's really hard. Only Ekadasi, okay, but Vyasa Puja, Janmashtami, Vyasa Puja, then Ekadasi, that's really hard. By then, I will feel like, oh my God, Hare Krishna. But remember, when Prabhupada was on Jaladuta, he had Vyasa Puja. Then after 2 days, he had heart attack. And then he had 2 heart attacks. And then he was thinking, if another one come, I may not survive. Then all the incarnation came in his dream and said, don't worry, we are coming with you. That's the time I'm thinking, I don't know about you, thinking, oh God, Janmashtami fasting, Vyasa Puja fasting, Ekadasi fasting, so hard. But Prabhupada was going through such a hardship in the age when he is supposed to be, normal people will retire, he was going through that. Then after Janmashtami, 2 weeks after Janmashtami is Radhashtami. So we usually have very festival mood, organizing festival for us, making dress for Radha Madhava. But those periods of time, Prabhupada was struggling to survive. He was not be able to eat. Only after 2 weeks, he wrote in the diary, today I feel better. And then he cooked khichdi. And then in diary he said, oh brother, please know that you can get Krishna's mercy only by the mercy of Srimati Radharani. He wrote that is around Radhashtami day. That is how Prabhupada along in Jalaruta he celebrated Radhashtami. Then later on he came to America, he landed in Boston, he wrote the famous poem, oh Lord, how you brought me to this hellish place. People covered of mode of ignorance and passion. How I can make them understand your message? You brought me here. There must be some purpose. Therefore, I'm your puppet. Make me dance, make me dance. Oh Lord, make me dance. That's how he came here, and he has only 47 rupees, which he couldn't even use in America. He brought same 47 rupees in the pocket, and he spent in the taxi in India, and he was shouting at the taxi driver, he cheated on him. Anyway, the same 40 rupees, he came back to India, and he spent for the taxi. And then in America, he didn't know where to go, right or left. Traveler agents, Agro, Gopal sent, came, and first place he took was ticket counter. Prabhupada was taken to ticket counter, and ticket counter man was surprised to see Prabhupada in a sadhu's dress, because usually cargo ship Jaladuta means businessman. The Jaladuta doesn't have all the luggage only. They have a passenger place. So there the human being can also sit and sleep nicely. So it's not like Prabhupada was lying down in the middle of luggage. It wasn't like that. There was a passenger seat also there. But then usually businessmen come with all the good stuff to sell. So businessmen come with suits. But Prabhupada came sadhu, and what he has, he didn't have any business stuff. He has umbrella and one suitcase, and he has a pointy rubber shoes. That's what he has. He was so surprised to see the sadhu coming out from Jaladuta cargo ship. Then he said, "So would you like the book return ticket?" And then Prabhupada said, "Yes, I would like to keep the seat for me. After 2 months, I will go back. Please keep my seat." You may be surprised, because we know Prabhupada didn't come back to India so quickly. He stayed. But originally he asked, as soon as he landed in America, first thing he did was went to the ticket counter, asked, "Please keep my seat. I'm coming back after 2 months." That's what Prabhupada did. Then, of course, after the history, everybody knows he went to Gopal's house. And then actually that Mataji, she was very nice person, and Prabhuji also. The Gopal's father used to like to sponsor the sadhu. So then he tells the son, "I want to sponsor this sadhu, please sign the paper." But nobody came. So then Gopal thought, again, my father is doing this, anyway, I will sign. He signed and he sent. And this time sadhu actually came. And then that Sari, that's Mataji's name. "Swamiji is coming, Swamiji is coming." She was so surprised, and they immediately arranged. Then from the New York, the cargo ship Jaladuta land, that was about 6 o'clock. And then from there, bus was coming to pick up with that traveler agent. And then it became midnight, from 6 o'clock to midnight to reach Pennsylvania. And then from Pennsylvania bus stop, he got down. By then, Gopal was there with his own car to pick him up. So it's already midnight. Then he took Prabhupada in his car to his residence, and end up 4 o'clock in the morning. That's how so far away Prabhupada went. Then this lady, Sari, her name is Sari. So she thought, it's a small town, so everybody is going to talk about Śrī Swami, looks strange, rather than having a rumor, people's topic, target. I thought I'm going to tell a newspaper to spread the news from our side first. So she went to the newspaper, and the newspaper said, "This news is not big enough to put on newspaper." And she was determined, so she went to another newspaper. "Please put this, it is good news, it's great news. Swamiji have come to my house." Then they were considering about, and I said, "Okay, this is good enough to put on newspaper." So they put on newspaper, Swamiji is in town. By reading in the newspaper, because those days there was no internet. There is newspaper and radio, that is a TV, only source of the news. So people saw the newspaper, then they started coming to the Gopal Agawa's house. So Prabhupada, that house has living room and kitchen downstairs, and upstairs 2 bedrooms. So they have children and husband and wife, so there is not enough. They like Prabhupada, of course, but they didn't have enough space for Prabhupada to be able to comfortably stay, so they rented to YMCA. So Prabhupada was staying there, but there was no cooking facility. So Prabhupada used to walk to his house, Gopal's house, and cook. In the beginning, he was cooking for himself, but then the family members said, oh, what is this? And they're interested. Then Prabhupada ended up cook for whole family, so it was going on. It was a very nice atmosphere. And in the evening, Prabhupada will sit 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Many visitors will come by reading newspaper, interested. He will come and they will talk with Prabhupada. Then one of the person who read newspaper and came to visit Prabhupada, he was connected to the university. So he invited Prabhupada to college preaching. And some of them are connected to some another stage program. And one time, this is after. Then one of them are connected to Dr. Mishra. So the sponsorship for Prabhupada to stay in America, I agree with, was 1 month. Of course, that family like Swamiji Prabhupada very much. They wanted Prabhupada to stay, but Prabhupada sometimes said one should not stay in someone's house unnecessarily longer period. So Prabhupada stayed 1 month, and then after 1 month he decided to move to another place. Then he chose New York, because New York is the place, the thing is happening, the center of happening. So the family was worried. Swamiji doesn't know anybody, how he can move to New York. But Prabhupada was determined he will not be satisfied, just nice family. What nice family? But he came with a mission to spread Krishna consciousness. So he moved to New York. The only person he knows was Dr. Mishra. That even not directly, but someone who was coming to visit that house, and that person's connection, he knows Dr. Mishra. And Dr. Mishra, he was about 44, Prabhupada 70. So for Dr. Mishra, Prabhupada is like a father. He respected Prabhupada Swamiji very much, but he didn't want Prabhupada to speak, because Dr. Mishra was Mayavadi. Prabhupada speak, everyone will be attracted, and everyone becomes Vaishnava, and Dr. Mishra Mayavadi school will be closed. So he liked Prabhupada singing. Swamiji, please sing bhajan. We like Swamiji's bhajan. And also Prabhupada was cooking for him, and he cooked for Dr. Mishra, and he was cooking for 7-6 others also. So he liked Prabhupada's prasadam, he liked Prabhupada bhajan, but he didn't want Prabhupada to speak about the Vaishnava, because he's Prabhupada, no? So everyone became Krishna consciousness. Then Prabhupada wanted to move to another place. By then, around this time, around the Kartik time, we can reflect how Prabhupada was spending the time. So the people came to know about Prabhupada from Dr. Mishra's ashram, even though Dr. Mishra was trying not to him to speak, but then someone like interesting in Prabhupada. Then there was a stage program. Someone went to stage program, no one was there on the stage, and then that person, that boy, he used to sit in front on the stage. So he sat in front of the stage. The stage was there, audience. He was sat in front line of audience, and he noticed old man was sitting in the corner of the front line, and then this old man called him, "Can you help me?" And he said, "Yes, of course, anything you tell me I will do." And then this old man said, "Can you keep eyes on this box?" And the books was inside. And he said, "Yes, I will do it." Then after someone came on the stage, MC, he said, "Now we are going to start the stage program. Swamiji, please come on the stage." And that old man who asked this boy to keep the eyes on the box, that is full of book, was Swami Prabhupada. And then he went on the stage. He gave the lecture about 40 minutes. Then it was so wonderful. Many people came up to him and asked a question. Someone was too shy to approach Prabhupada. Prabhupada went up to him and started speaking. Then he said, "Anybody is interested in this philosophy? I have book. Please purchase." And then he called that boy. "If someone comes to ask you for the book, can you sell the book? This is how much price." Then people started coming to the boy, and he was thinking, I met him just a few minutes ago. I don't know anything, but people coming to ask about Swamiji's personal questions and books, and I don't know anything. But then he felt so personal. He felt like he's a part of Prabhupada's mission, and he was very happy. And he was selling the book distribution. Then after everything is over, he bought a set of books for himself, and he helped Prabhupada to carry the books. That was, I think, around the Kartik, around this time, because Prabhupada stayed in Gopal Agarwal's house for 1 month, and Dr. Mishra's house for 1 month. Then he entered America September 18, then October 18, November 18, around this time this was happening. Then after 2 months over, he wanted to go back. He asked already keep the seat for Jaladuta to come back. Then he wrote a letter to Mahārāja, who sponsored cargo ship. He said, Miss Mahārāja, I want to come back. Thank you for sending me. Now 2 months is over, I want to come back. And she said, I hope you recover from your sickness fully, and then I hope you fulfill your mission fully, then after you can come back. Then Prabhupada thought, okay, I just started, but I didn't fulfill my Guru's mission and all that. So he took us the God's will, so he stayed. He extended the visa and he stayed. Then he stayed. It's become winter. As everyone knows, in India it's warm. Kartik is still warm. Even in winter, summer, during a day, it's quite warm. At night, a little bit cold. Prabhupada grown up that place, born and grew up that place. Now he's in America. It's cold. Then December, he saw the snow. And he had a coat Dr. Mishra gave, coat, winter coat. Christmas marathon. First Christmas marathon in America. Prabhupada started. During Christmas, everyone in America, I don't know America, but then I heard, in America, everyone does Christmas shopping. Is that true? So they go to the shopping mall and they do the Christmas shopping. So Prabhupada was also going to the shopping mall, but then he was not doing Christmas shopping. He was distributing a book. He take the book and go to the shop and ask the shop people, can you please keep this book for selling? So he said, no, this is nothing to do with Christmas. We are not keeping this stuff in our shop. But Prabhupada is, as we know, Prabhupada is Prabhupada. He's not, oh, okay, this is not Christmas good. So he is not that person. He asks again and again, going again and again, and convince them to keep the book. And one particular shop, she is very nice person. Eventually she said, no, but then finally she agreed to keep the book. Not only one book, but many books. So sometimes Prabhupada go around the book distribution, he finish his book, then he go back to the shop where keeping so many books, and he borrow from the shop and distribute more book. And one day she was talking with Prabhupada about Indian food, and then she said, I like samosa. I don't think she knows much about India, but she just mentioned, I like samosa. Then next time when Prabhupada came, he came with a tray of samosa. I'm sure Prabhupada made himself because there was no other Indian shop. He came with tray of samosa to Prabhupada. So that was Prabhupada's never-ending, never retirement. In the age of 70, in the winter in America, 1970, 1966, yeah? The time Prabhupada went to them. Around this time, that was what Prabhupada was doing. So remembering how Prabhupada is doing, we should also try whatever we can do. Of course, not as much as Prabhupada is doing, but we should keep the same mood and spirit so that we can be in a part of Prabhupada's mission. And at the end, I want to talk a little bit about the Kartik. So during a Kartik, yesterday, Rameshwar Prabhu asked, so what do you think about Kartik? And Mataji said, Radharani, yes? In Mayapura TV, I was not showing who said, who was that? Radharani. Yes, Radharani. So Radharani, and then Prabhuji said, Damodara Lila. You said? Prabhu is, okay. So now I want to make, I want to tell one very nice story about Radharani and Damodara Lila. So Yashoda wanted to ban Krishna, so she brought so many ropes, she couldn't tie. And at the end, Radharani, baby Radharani was there. She has hairband to tie little ribbon, and she gave to Yashoda. And then with that little hairband, Yashoda added, and she could tie Krishna. So that's why we say Radha Damodara. Of course, we say Yashoda Damodara, but we say Radha Damodara, Radha Damodara, Radha. So Radharani and Damodara Yashoda, that's pastime there. And one last, very last one. Then tree. Krishna pulled three Arjuna tree, yes? And then Arjuna tree fell down, and demigod came, son of Narakubera and Maniguru. Son of Kubera, Narakubera and Maniguru came up. They have seen Krishna. They could go back to Godhead, but they didn't. They went to heavenly planet. The reason is because they wanted to preach in the heavenly planet. In the heaven, everyone's enjoying, but I have seen Krishna's first time because he was standing there so long. He wanted to go to the heaven, and he wanted to tell everyone how wonderful is Krishna. So they became preacher in one body. In another body, they remain Vrindavan. They become Madhavakanta and Sundarakanta. They become a twin sadhu. This is mentioned in Gopala Champa by Jiva Goswami. They go to every day Nanda Maharaj's house and recite Krishna's pastime. Krishna's pastime, of course, Nanda Maharaj knows everything. And then at night, he will go to Radharani's kunja and tell Krishna's pastime. Like we hear about Krishna so many times, but still we like to hear. So this two Arjuna tree became sages to recite Krishna's pastime again and again in Nanda Maharaj's house and Radharani's kunja. That's the story. So therefore, like Brahma, he has seen Vishnu, then he turned to Krishna and recited Brahma Samhita, but didn't think, I saw the Krishna perfection and I have nothing to do, this is the end of my life, I have achieved perfection. No, he didn't stop that. He became preacher, like 100 years, every day of his life. Every morning he created the universe, he executed the devotional service. And so Narakubera's sons, Maniguru and Narakubera, also they saw Krishna face to face, but they didn't think, this is the end of my life, I have perfect life. No, they became preacher, they became reciter of Krishna's pastime. So in that way, even we see Krishna every day, Radha Madhava, even we see Panchatattva every day, but this is not the end. This is our beginning of a spiritual life. We so happy, we are so fortunate, we go out and tell everyone about how wonderful Krishna. That's the end of the class, and I want to talk about the 100 celestial years, how we calculate this 100 celestial years. Also, I think that Kinchana Balaram calculated 6 months, 6 hours, and some Prabhu said one Brahma Mahutra, and I also calculated. I thought about talk about calculation of 100 celestial years, but I think the time is over, so we will end class here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Radha Damodara ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Jai Gaura Prema.